Now, as we do so many weeks here at the Daily Dose, we need to get over to our Daily Dose Top 5. So Monday is, of course, Christmas Day. And while many of us who celebrate can't wait to see what Santa has brought us on Christmas morning, we all know a few people that if it is really true that Santa Claus is checking his list twice to see who is naughty and who is nice, then they aren't getting anything. Well, this year, we have a few sports teams, not just sports figures, teams that I have a feeling they're going to end up on the naughty list. They haven't been very good. And based on that behavior, I'm going to be honest, they don't deserve any presents this year. Today, our Daily Dose Top 5 is counting down the top 5 sports teams that should be on Santa's naughty list this year. I'm not saying they will be, but they should be based on their behavior. So let's go ahead and see who makes that list this year. We start off at number 5, and we go to the NBA, where we find a team that hasn't necessarily been truly naughty. They're just really, really bad. Why in the world are the Detroit Pistons so awful? They have a good young player in Cade Cunningham. I really like him. And that's it. Detroit's losing streak reached 20 games last week. That makes it the 6th longest streak in the NBA and the longest single season slide in Pistons history. Remember, the Philadelphia 76ers hold the NBA's record for the longest single season losing streak, but these Pistons can't win games. They're going to make a push at that. They are beyond terrible. They just keep losing every single game. And just when you think, hey, tonight's the night, they're going to get it. They got a big lead. No, they're not. They're not going to win anything because they're awful. You know, I really think head coach Monty Williams, I think he's a good coach. But wow, the Pistons are just dreadful in every single way. They have done nothing to be placed on the nice list. Sorry, Detroit Pistons. I know you're bad. I know you're struggling. But based on just how bad you are, you wind up on the naughty list this year. And you come in today at number 5. We move next to number 4, where we find a team that actually has been naughty. And they are deserving of all the coal that they may find in their stockings this year, because the Los Angeles Chargers are an absolute mess. They have all-star talent on their roster, it seems like every single year. And yet, they never win anything. The Chargers are now 5-9 on the season. They are dead last in the AFC West. And this is a year that some people were actually picking them to be Super Bowl contenders. Last Thursday, they gave up 63 points to a Raiders team that couldn't score a single point the previous week against Minnesota. But the Chargers can't have nice things. And this is all karma. This team has been notoriously cheap in every way since like the 60s. And they fired head coach Marty Schottenheimer for losing in the playoffs when the man took that team to a 14-2 record. Last Friday, the Chargers fired head coach Brandon Staley, who, by the way, was now the Chargers' 4th coach to fail miserably since they fired Marty. And to be honest, this all just makes me sad. No, I don't feel bad for Charger fans. I really don't. I feel bad for me because I like seeing Staley fail year after year. I was hoping they'd keep him, to be honest. Because even when my Denver Broncos were terrible and they had guys like Drew Lock or Trevor Siemian playing quarterback, we could still beat the Chargers. And now that might be gone. I don't know. But the Chargers, they are truly deserving of being on the naughty list this year. And they come in today at number 4. We reach the number 3 team to make our naughty list, and we go back to the NBA, and we go to a very familiar place, at least here on the Daily Dose. Because yes, I am talking about those Los Angeles Lakers, the winners of the first ever in-season NBA tournament. Lakers players picked up $500,000 each for winning that in-season tournament. So how are the Lakers on the naughty list? I'll tell you. Because they hung the in-season banner this past Monday night against the Knicks. That is the equivalent of hanging, I don't know, a banner for like winning the All-Star game or like making the wild card in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. No one cares. But, you know, when you stop and you think about it, it does kind of make sense, right? The Lakers have 17 championship banners. Pretty impressive. Now, this makes it 18. Even better, right? But remember this. Remember the in-season tournament one doesn't matter at all. And also remember that 5 of those banners are Minneapolis banners. So you should be embarrassed by those too. They're not yours, and you hang them. You should be embarrassed. I know you're not, but you should be. The Lakers hanging up fake banners lands them today on our list at number 3. We reached the number 2 naughty team for 2023, and when you hear this, you might be tempted to say, why are they on your list? This isn't a team thing. This is just one guy. Okay, but you'd be wrong. Because whenever Draymond Green does something stupid, it is the Golden State Warriors franchise that looks the other way. Head coach Steve Kerr, he'll come out and he'll say some dumb things like, well, he's got a great opportunity to change right now. Well, why would he change? You allow him to do whatever he wants. Draymond Green is no longer the player that he used to be. So we see him do dumb things like choke guys or kick guys or hit guys or elbow guys because he can't compete like he used to. And the Warriors give him a little slap on the wrist and they let him keep playing because we know this. As bad as he is, they have even less of a chance to win without him. And NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, he just wants to make out with the player, so he's not going to do anything. He literally gave Draymond the indefinite suspension. And everyone saw it and said, oh, he's really taking a tough stand. No, he's not. He's going to gauge public opinion, and then he's going to try to make a decision based on that. But hey, this is on the Warriors. They have never dealt with Draymond Green the way that they should have. The man punched his own teammate in the face in practice. What did the Warriors do? They traded the guy that got punched. Hey, Golden State is not a very good basketball team this year, with or without Draymond Green. But the way they deal with him and the way that they let him do whatever he wants to, yeah, it lands them on the naughty list. The Golden State Warriors come in today at number 2. So we reach the number 1 team on our list of naughty teams on Santa's list this year. And you know, I say it all the time. Kids are going to be kids. Kids are always just kids. That's who they are. But understand this, our number 1 team, it's not the kids. It's the adults. And the University of Michigan has some adults doing some very, very naughty things. Think about this for a minute. The Michigan Wolverines are playing in the college football playoff, despite the fact they were found guilty of cheating. So what did they do? They had head coach Jim Harbaugh take a couple games off. Hey, we served our punishment. We're done. Jim Harbaugh sat out a game or 2. He didn't miss practice. He didn't really miss anything. He sure didn't miss any paychecks, but he sat out a couple games. So we're done. All good. All better. Really? Is that how it works? That's not good. But wait, that's not all. Here's a question I have for you today, Daly Dose listener. Can you tell me who is the Michigan head men's basketball coach? Well, it's obviously Juwan Howard, right? Except that it sort of isn't. You see, Juwan Howard was involved in an incident with a strength and conditioning coach by the name of John Sanderson. This was a couple of weeks ago. And no punches were thrown, but the 2 men had to be separated. They were in a confrontation. Okay, big deal. These things happen, right? Well, except that Michigan has told us that Juwan Howard is on a zero tolerance policy because remember, he had gotten into a fight with the coach up at Wisconsin last year, like a physical fight after the game. So Howard was traveling with the team, but not acting as the acting head coach. Associate head coach Phil Martelli actually served as Michigan's interim head coach during Howard's absence, whatever you want to call it. What in the world is going on at the University of Michigan? Is this how they act? Is this how they do their business? Coaches get in trouble. The two biggest sports at the university, the head coach has been in trouble. And what did they do? Nothing. They don't care. You give them a little slap on the wrist and you send them right back to their moronic ways. The Michigan Wolverines are the #1 team today on our naughty list. And again, has nothing to do with the kids, has nothing to do with the students, has nothing to do with the student athletes. It is because of the shady adults. Michigan, you are on the naughty list. I don't care what you do in the college football playoff. You haven't been behaving yourself. You deserve a big lump of coal. Okay, YouTube, make sure you go over and you check out the rest of the podcast, because today we are actually reading our list to Santa Claus of things that we want in the sports world. Plus, we do have a little bit of sports news, and we break down some of the better college football bowl games coming, including those college football playoff games. We make our picks of who we think is going to win those. So make sure you go over and check out the rest of the podcast. I will leave a link here in the comments on YouTube for you. Hope you all are doing well. I will see you all next Wednesday. I wish you a very safe and a very Merry Christmas.